Now, elections are coming up both in Europe and overseas, but as cyber attacks are becoming more common, how confident can we really be in the integrity of our electoral processes? Well, leading experts and political figures from around the world will be gathering in Brussels to discuss that later. And joining me now is one of the speakers at that conference, Lisa Past. Ms. Past, thank you very much for joining us on the programme this morning.
Good morning.
We know that there's European elections coming up next year, European parliamentary elections. How can Europe make sure that it's safeguarding itself against cyber attacks?
I mean, first of all, really, it starts with a recognition that there are attacks happening in cyberspace and otherwise. And in those attacks, how we harden our systems is up to the national systems in many cases. So the fact that we are in Europe and we're talking about in Brussels today already goes a long way. And then once we recognize that it's up to the national systems, whether it's a question of hardening the registration or vote gathering system, whether it's the question of protecting the national media ecosystem and the public discussion, as Sweden did in the recent elections, or whether it's looking at what else is happening around the world in public discussion, it really is up to the particular member states themselves.
Do you think the institutions at risk here have the technical know-how to deal with interference? Or should they be looking to try and hire hackers to try and understand better how to protect themselves?
The national election organizers themselves can never be tasked with protecting the cyberspace by themselves, because their task in the end is to put together voter rolls, gather votes, tally them, and come up with a result. So in there, the cybersecurity agencies will need to come through and help figure out what's going on and help figure out how our systems protect the cyberspace.
And of course, the election interference conference that you're having later today, just about to start, what concrete measures are you hoping might come out of that conference?
First and foremost, when we look at the European Parliament elections in May next year, we have to recognize that these elections have not happened since 2014, which in many ways was a simpler time. 2016 was a time when a taboo was broken. 2016 was when we realized how fragile elections and election infrastructures. So in terms of the European Union elections to the European Parliament next May, when 27 nations will be voting within a week, it's really the question of the last mile of elections. And how do we make sure that the results communicated from the capitals to Brussels are done in a way that allows for the Parliament to come together and do its job next summer?